Hi, how's it going? This is resident of Collinwood for YouTube, resident _of Collinwood for BitChute. And I'm here to do two videos today, both Dark Shadows videos. My first video is a character retrospective of Carolyn Collins Stoddard Hawks, the daughter of Elizabeth Collins Stoddard, and the wife of Jeb Hawks. You know, there's so much here to get to with Carolyn. Do I think Carolyn didn't leave the house because of her mother? Didn't, want to leave because of her mother? Yes, but not for the same exact reason as her mother. Her mom, when you look at Carolyn, you sort of have to look at Elizabeth in a lot of ways. So Carolyn sees her mother and sees this woman who has not left the grounds in 18 years. I think the biggest misconception about Elizabeth, and even Victoria Winters makes this misconception, is that Elizabeth has never left the house. It's not that she has never left the house. She's never left the grounds, the estate. So she's never been off of the hill. She's never been into town for 18 years. So for 18 years, this woman has imprisoned herself on her property. Not necessarily in her home, while she stays in the home mainly, and she does go outside and walks around the estate, which is a very large estate. She doesn't go into town. She either has Roger or Matthew go into town, or while Roger's in town doing work. So when you look at Carolyn, here's a girl who isn't staying in the house. She's leaving the house as much as possible. She's literally going into town. She's going to the Blue Whale. She's getting out of the house, whether it's with Joe Haskell or it's not. Do I think Carolyn wanted to leave? I think her saying she wants to leave is a ploy. It's one big, I call 1000% bullshit that she was wanting to leave at that point in time. Now, I'm not saying she never wanted to leave in her life, but I do think in the early episode, in the very beginning, Carolyn wanting to leave is bullshit. Because she could have left at any given point in time when she turns 18. Because look at it. She has her own money in her inheritance. Her mother, she has her own bank account, for God's sake. She could literally pack her bags, go to New York, go to LA, go wherever the hell she wanted to. She doesn't have to take Joe Haskell. She's not married to Joe. Hell, she's not even engaged to Joe Haskell, really. She could just leave, and she doesn't. Now, why doesn't she leave? Keep in mind that Elizabeth stays on the property because Elizabeth, in her mind, has murdered Paul Stoddard. Now, we all know she didn't, but in her mind, she did. So she has literally imprisoned herself on her property, staying there, giving off the ploy that the deception that Paul left her and Carolyn and has never returned, which in every way is true. I mean, Paul did leave. Now, Elizabeth doesn't know Paul's alive and did actually leave with money in tow. But she thinks he's dead. So she doesn't think that Paul Stoddard will ever walk back through that door. And in many ways, it's not that Elizabeth's wrong. Elizabeth is living her life off of a lot of assumption that she killed a man. that Jason McGuire not only helped her cover up a murder, that he'll never return. So there's a lot there with Elizabeth too that Carolyn does not know. Carolyn does not know that her mother hit Paul Stoddard over the head, and she believes she killed her husband. Carolyn believes what the eventual truth that you find out is Paul Stoddard left. Okay? Carolyn is staying at that house, is not leaving, not just because of her mother. Yes, that's one of the reasons. She is, because if it was, look, when Carolyn says, I can't leave my mother alone, even prior to Vicky, arriving, when Vicky arrives, she says that. Here's the thing. She's never really alone, even before Vicky. Roger and David are both there in that house. And even when Roger leaves, there's Elizabeth and David, and Matthew Morgan's in his cottage before he has a psychotic break and starts trying to kill Victoria Winters. And so there's, and Bert Devlin arrives and all other sorts of hell pursues. So there is that. It's not that Elizabeth is really alone in that house. So Carolyn's statement of, I don't want to leave my mother alone, again, 1000% bullshit. It's not just that. She wants to find out one thing. Why did my father leave? What happened to him after he left? Where'd he go? Now, you could say, well, she could just go somewhere and find him. Carolyn is under the belief that one day Paul Stoddard will walk back through that door. Now, whether Elizabeth believes that or not, or anyone else believes that or not, doesn't matter. I truly believe Carolyn believed her dad would walk back through that door one day. Now, you might say, well, there was Joe. I don't think, honestly, Carolyn was staying for Joe at all. Look, she liked Joe as a friend. She liked Joe, hell, she liked Joe as a person, and it's not hard to do. But she did not love Joe. And that is a big deal when you're looking at that picture. Joe being Elizabeth's choice to marry Carolyn, that's not what was really hurting him. What was hurting Joe was Carolyn herself isn't sure what she wants in a man. She's young and she's immature. That's another part. Now, you could say the first part was hurting her. Sure, it was. But to me, the more thing hurting Joe is Carolyn doesn't know what the hell she wants in a man. There's a lot of things Carolyn does want, especially when it pertains to her dad. But again, that's a whole nother matter. Now, so Carolyn does stay and stay and stay and stay. Now, we meet Jeb Hawks, okay? Jeb Hawks is a member of the Leviathans. He is their creation in every way. But what the Leviathans did not bank on was literally Jeb falling head over heels in love with Carolyn. And guess what? Carolyn falling in love back with Jeb. The Leviathans did not bank on this. So she marries Jeb Hawks. She falls in love with Jeb Hawks. Now, Jeb breaks the Leviathan box, ending their reign. But Jeb gets put under a curse by Angelique. She eventually lifts the curse and puts it on Nicholas Blair. And then Bruno kills him, pushes him off Widow's Hill. Now, Now, they never find the body, right, of Jeb, so Carolyn is always left to wonder, did Jeb actually die? Do I think Jeb's dead? Listen, there's the oldest rule in horror, long before Scream ever came along. The oldest rule in horror is there's two oldest rules. Number one, did you actually see the person die? Okay, and if you saw the person go off the cliff, number two, did you see their body? In a sense, look at Bill Malloy. Though you don't see Bill Malloy get pushed off the cliff, you do see Bill Malloy's body. Therefore, Bill Malloy is dead. Okay? Now, if you actually see the person fall off the cliff, there's rule number two. Did you see the body? And if you did not see the body, guess what, folks? There is a 50-50 chance that the son of a bitch is still alive, that Jeb Hawks is somewhere out there over the rainbow, under the moon, alive. Okay? Do I think he's alive? Could be. Could be. Okay? But here's my definitive answer. Yes. For the simple fact is, when you don't find a body, there's no death. There's no death. Look, Burke Devlin's plane crash is perfect example. They don't find Burke Devlin's body. Therefore, is Burke Devlin actually dead? And look, that whole ghost thing, yeah, I don't buy that. That could just be her subconscious. That could have been Victoria's subconscious playing with her. Because again, everyone else is already assuming it when she sees the damn thing. So really, they're more giving the suggestion he's dead than actually telling you he's dead. Meaning the other characters are giving her they're giving off the body tone of they believe he's dead. So, back to Carolyn. Jeb Hawks, is he alive? In my opinion, yes. In my opinion, Jeb Hawks is alive and well. Where is Jeb Hawks? Who knows? He's somewhere in some other fishing village with no memory of who he is or who he was married to. Okay? That's my opinion. That's where I stand. So Jeb is alive and well, my friends. So, is that the end of my character perspective? Let me think if there's anything I miss. As far as Carolyn's obsession with the occult, do I think Carolyn could have developed one? I do. I don't see how you don't. Look, it's not just her being married to Jeb. It's she lived in a house where a lot of stuff went down, okay? That whole family screams supernatural, okay? The whole family. I'm not meaning just Barnabas, I'm meaning all of them. Hell, David himself screamed that long before you saw Barnabas Collins, so that is my character retrospective for Carolyn Collins Stoddard Hawks. Hope you enjoyed it. Let me hear your thoughts. Like, share, comment, and subscribe.